bringing the world news for real. Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on the Powerhouse radio station are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers. The show found on the Powerhouse radio station can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or condition. Opinions stated by various contributors to the Powerhouse Radio and its programming are not to be considered as endorsed by the Powerhouse Radio. Visitors are urged to use their own discernment, draw their own conclusion. We emphasize the importance of keeping an open mind.
Superior legal service in the areas of family law, child welfare law, general legal services, and mediation by keeping convenience of the clients at the forefront. The Hinkson firm's goal is to eliminate the stress of an already intense situation in your life by coming directly to your workplace and or a location close to your home for consultation, meetings, and mediation. The Hinkson firm customized legal attention based on the needs of each client while treating every client with the dignity and respect they deserve, while fighting strongly and fiercely for justice and their legal rights. The Hinkson firm can be reached at 470-499-4704.
Yeah, you listen to the sounds of DJ Fourth Quarter in your ear right now. If you're in your car, if you're at home, if you're on your phone, let's gripe, baby.
Driving home and you're feeling kinda tired. Hey, radio play the same thing every day. So you need a little switch in your life. Traffic got you jammed up every night. Tune in to Powerhouse. Wednesday 7 to 9, you need to check them out. I promise I ain't trying to hype, but one good listen tonight, it might change your life. So what's the name of the show? You need something to just ride to on the go. Or you might be home, so log on. You can even dial in on your phone. I promise that you're gonna love it. Just try it one time, it'll blow your mind. Now I'ma say it just one more time. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9.
Let's gripe. 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 Let's gripe.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy Wednesday. Hello, everyone.
What up? What up, everybody? What up? What up? What up? It's Wednesday.
Yes, February 24th already. Can you believe it?
Time is going fast.
Very fast. McKenna is having some technical difficulties, so she's going to join us as soon as she can get online. But right now, Marcus and I is going to hang out. Remember, we are going to do our Black-owned business highlight tonight, and we do have a awesome company that we're going to feature.
Mhm.
And thank you guys so far for supporting Reggae Vibes Restaurant in Hampton, and also Dazzling Photo Booth. So we thank you for supporting your Black-owned business as often as you can, because it's very important, not only for February, the Black History Month. We should just do that all the time. I know sometimes we
Exactly.
have a little issues with companies, but
Mhm.
if you just talk to them, do a little review to them, things will get better. So remember, not only February, we definitely want you to definitely support your Black-owned businesses in your area and even online. Oh, look who joining us. Hey, McKenna.
What up, McKenna?
I think she cannot hear us right now,
Okay.
so she's not hearing us. So until she can hear us, so Marcus G, what's up?
Man, it's Wednesday. Kind of excited. This week is kind of been all right. Little week. It's flown by. But everything's good. How you doing over there, though?
Well, I'm okay. I have a smile on my face. I have a little frown in my heart.
Oh no.
Yeah, my mom, she was admitted in the hospital last
Mm,
night. So
okay.
we want honest and faithful prayers out
Yes.
there. So
Yeah.
Mama Dukes, hopefully
Mm-hmm.
she's listening. So praying for speedy recovery for her. So
Yes. Yes.
Good evening, everybody.
hey,
I can finally hear everybody, so I just want to say good evening and happy Wednesday. And certainly, we'll send out some prayers for Mama Dukes. And I know it's touching anytime a close loved one is dealing with any type of health issues. So we certainly will keep that in mind and keep you in prayer and your family as well. Um, I will say that I was very delighted to have some spring-like weather these past 2 days. It absolutely lifted my spirits because, winter is not my season, but spring, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm ready to go outside and walk around and just be outside in the spring air. So I think that spring fever is going to be around the corner, which is positive, but my gripe would be that people need to govern themselves accordingly because we're still in the middle of a pandemic. I was listening to the mayor as she was cautioning people about coming to Atlanta for the All Star Weekend that's happening I guess that's next weekend. And so we know in the past people will definitely come to Atlanta, and there's a day party here and a night party there, and the strip club here, and all types of activities that happen around these All Star events because it's been here before. And so I just remind people that, participate, but be moderate and make sure that you are mindful that the pandemic is still out there and to govern yourselves accordingly and be cautious out there. So that would just be a suggestion. We just make suggestions around here. We don't tell grown people what to do. So we gripe it up and let you make your own choices, but we at least want to remind you to, just use some sound judgment. It's okay to participate in life, but be moderate and take care of yourself while you're doing it.
Yeah, I didn't know they were still having it. I know a few basketball players that said that, there was no point. They didn't want to have it, but Atlanta seems to be the mecca for partying these days because of all the restrictions that have been lifted in Atlanta as opposed to other places in the country, specifically New York and California. So Atlanta has pretty much been the place, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon, especially for the people that are getting money behind it. So it's going to be interesting though. I'm sure there's probably going to be some kind of passing here and there, but I wonder. I don't know. Now maybe I'll check on this and see if how many of the NBA players have received or gone for the vaccine or anything. I don't think there's been any like public declaration behind anyone taking it or anything like that. But that'd be interesting to know, especially because they were the only sport that was able to. I think baseball a little bit, but only sport last year that was able to successfully position themselves into a bubble and not have cases of what people contracted COVID. So I wonder if they got a vaccine. I'll check on that in a minute.
Yeah, as it relates to the All Star game, last year initially it was canceled. So it was an event that had been canceled because it's usually in February. And then towards the end of the year, the NBA decided, well, no, I think we're going to have this NBA All Star game because it wasn't supposed to be in Atlanta. It was supposed to be in a northern city like Minneapolis or somewhere different. And I'm not sure if Atlanta volunteered or how that change occurred, but nonetheless,
Some pockets might have been greased.
there was some conversation, and there was a meeting for the meeting. And it was decided that yes, the NBA will be having an All-Star game, and because it's in your collective bargaining agreement, we expect you to come on over here to Atlanta and play in these Atlanta streets.
Yeah, we're not trying to miss out on none of that money.
Absolutely, we missed out on enough money because there have not been fans in the stadiums, and
Right.
so these virtual crowds do not generate the same type of revenue as real time crowds do. And so here's another opportunity for us to, and in the true capitalistic society that we live in, here's an opportunity to make some money. And then of course the bars and restaurants. I mean, from a business owner's perspective, I can understand why a bar or a restaurant would welcome additional activity, in their establishment. So there are people that are promoting parties at this time. I saw a few comments about some parties that have been promoted, and but Mayor Keisha said, "Listen, don't come to my city with all that. This is not the NBA All-Star game from yesteryear. We're still in the middle of a pandemic, and we do still expect you to operate your establishment at, whatever percent occupancy the city has established within the city limits." So, and apparently they are going to do a reasonable attempt to enforce the way they calls it noise control and nuisance reports and things of that nature. So I guess we'll see what happens next weekend.
Good luck to him.
That part. So with that being said, in our fashion of highlighting a Black-owned business, we would like to highlight one this evening. And so the business that we're going to highlight tonight is called Blake Centers. I'm sorry, Blake Caters Llc. This company was founded originally back in 2007 in East Point, Georgia. And originally, it started out by just selling sandwiches and salads. And then it grew, and it has more of a full meal menu now that has added to their services. The business is owned and operated by Michael Blakely, aka Blake Blakely, Blake Caterers. And it also delivers within an 80-mile radius throughout the state. So we do want to highlight and say hello and celebrate that Black-owned business. Of course, we'll post some information on our Facebook and Twitter page so that you can see some information about that business. But we did want to make that announcement about that own business this evening.
Well, we are going to have him coming and joining the conversation just to, tell us a little bit more that he might want to share with our listeners today. We're just waiting for him to get pulled up in the studio. And while we're waiting for him to get pulled up in the studio, a catering company owned by a black owned, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And 80 miles.
That's the part that got me too. 80 miles is a is a pretty wide net for 80 miles. Yeah.
I mean, that's the entire metro area, like
pretty much
the entire metro area. So, oh yeah, that's exciting. And what I like to read, when I read the post, I like the part about the growth. Sometimes we do start out small because that's just how we start. And then as we learn about our business and market it and word of mouth and expand, growth happens. And so it's always encouraging to remind us that we don't have to start out big. You can always start out small and grow your business and learn about growing your business in a way that will maintain whatever that mission and goal is of your business. Stay true to your product and expand your base as far as those people who are supporting you. So,
and you know what I love about the businesses that we've highlighted so far, that they were able to start and operate during the pandemic.
That's good stuff. Yeah, that's good stuff.
That's the most important thing because we do hear about small businesses that are struggling through the pandemic. But then you see business are striving, small business are striving and starting. So that's a positive note for, no matter what the circumstances are, you could push through. You can make it happen. And that's the most important thing. So I love the fact that the businesses that we have highlighted so far has not been around a long time. So we're getting him up and we're just going to have him join us and just tell us a little bit more. And, because listen, we can't do it without supporting one another, and that's what the main thing is. We are supporting each other. We just have to do it.
Mhm.
You know, just like with our listeners, you know, tuning in, listening to us every week. You know, they could be looking at something else, or they
Mhm.
could just be doing something else, but they decide to listen to us wherever they are, in the car, at home, wherever. So again, we do truly thank our listeners. Oh, but matter of fact, don't forget that you can also listen to us on YouTube. Oh, well, I'll throw that in there later, but we got Mr. Billy. Yes, welcome, welcome to Let's Gripe.
How you
How
doing, brother?
you
How you
doing?
doing?
Okay, hey, how are you all doing? Thanks for having me.
Doing well, doing well.
It's definitely our pleasure. So we did introduce your company, but tell us some more. Tell us something that you want us to know. Well, okay, so we've been excited that so far the companies that we've highlighted, they started and they are striving through the pandemic. Tell us how it's been for you since the pandemic started.
Well, of course, we've had, my family have had our difficulties, like everybody else has. I have 4 kids and a wife, so just having them not at school and having them home. So I had to figure out something for them to do. So I was like, you know what, y'all can start washing these dishes and chopping these onions and putting butter and syrup in the little cups and things like that. So we tried to make it a family thing, make it fun for everybody, so it wasn't boring. But it's been good. Nobody has caught the virus in the process, and we masking up. But I heard you refer to how a lot of businesses have gotten started since the pandemic, and actually, even though I was established in 2007. The last 2 years have been my best years, simply because I'm not thanking the pandemic for it, but it's like the idea just came and I was like, let's do it. And it's just been growing ever since.
Mike, I heard you just mention that you were established in 2007. For people who are just starting out their business and it may start off kind of, slow or not going how they want it, what advice would you give to those people, showing that you are fruitful now as opposed to when more fruitful than you were when you first started in 2007?
Don't be afraid of failure. I think a lot of people are afraid to step out on faith and do their own things with the ideas that they've had as children. But I think the fear of failure is where people just lose hope in themselves. And if I would say anything, and if I had a word of advice, I would just say, don't be afraid. There's a quote that I've lived by for almost the last 20 years, and it's, why not go out on a limb? That's where the fruit is.
Good
And
stuff.
I've been like, I want to get it tattooed on me because it's been my whole life story.
Okay.
Definitely a risk taker. And, that doesn't mean I'm not afraid. I'm just not afraid to fail.
Okay.
And,
That's good.
and that's my way of life. And that's my thought process.
That's good.
So tell us a little bit about the food that you cook.
Well, I cook everything. I cook everything. I have a taste. I went to school for cooking. My mom cooked. I don't know if you all got a chance to read my bio, but the best thing I cook, like I cook a mean hot dog. Like if I'm boiling it, if I'm frying it, it doesn't matter. But that's neither here nor there. But I cook anywhere from Asian cuisine, American cuisine, hood cuisine. You want some hot wings with a little lobster ravioli, you come to Blake Caters because I got it for you. So I have a variety of things that I cook, and I don't like to slight myself on anything. Even though I have a menu, I have several different menus for several different occasions, but people can also just give me a call. Hey, say, I want a meatloaf tonight. Can you do that for me? And I'll do it. That's one of the things that I think we specialize in. You may not see something on your menu, on our menu, that you like, but you have a family specialty because we also do family dinners, and you want pork chop that night, or you want some ribs, or you want some ham hocks. I'm going to cook those for you, and they're probably going to be the best you ever had.
I like that. I like that.
One of the things I would like to say is I really appreciate your enthusiasm. You know, just with the enthusiasm and the passion that you speak about your business and your product, we can tell that it's just close and dear to your heart. And it's also refreshing to know that people still have passions about things. You know, we've been through this pandemic and we're still going through it. And there are people that have suffered losses, emotional, financial, spiritual, family losses, but to hear somebody still have a zeal and a zest and a passion for something is certainly refreshing. And it's just all over your face and all in your presentation. And so I just wanted to highlight that and say that we appreciate you just sharing that enthusiasm with our viewers tonight.
No, I appreciate you all having me. That's when I got the email, I was ecstatic and I was trying to figure out what I was going to wear and if I needed to shave my head and what I needed to do.
That's all that's all right. That's what you think about, you know. And I do thank you for accepting our invitation, because like I said, we just want to support each and every one of our, you know, Black owned businesses. So definitely we do thank you. So before we let you go though, you got to tell our listeners how they can find you, how they can get in touch with you.
Well, we have several methods, and I just finished creating my website. So the first thing I want to do is tell everybody to go to BlakeBlakelyCooks.com. That's Blake Blakely, BlakeBlakelyCooks.com. That's the website. Go check us out. We got a few items on there. You can also follow my Instagram, which is Blake Caters, my Facebook, which is Blake Caters. I'm working on a Twitter handler. So if you want to look me up, that's the way. You can also, the phone number is 770-648-3982, 770-648-3982. Any email inquiries, BlakeBlakelyFoods@gmail.com. That's BlakeBlakelyFoods@gmail.com. And those are pretty much all the ways that I can be reached. And we reply fast and we take care of things the way you need it to be.
And also, we'll definitely post it on Let's Gripe Facebook page, that you can have that information. And also, Mike, if you could just go ahead and share the tag Let's Gripe in your website as well. But we're definitely going to share it so our listeners and even our followers, they'll be able to reach out to you for any of their special event, or like you said, even for their dinner. So again, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Good luck with everything, and we wish you the best in all that you do. And congratulations again.
Hey, thank you all, and congratulations on your show. I wish nothing but the best and the best worldwide. And I can actually say I was on the show before it was nominated for an Emmy and things like that. So I'm ready, you know.
Well, thank you
so much. Claim it in the name of Jesus. So thank you so much again. God bless you. And you know, you're always welcome anytime. If you have any kind of special, anything that you have going on, you want to share it with our listeners, definitely, you know how to reach out to us, and we'll definitely would love to see and have you again. Thank you so much, Mr. Blakely.
All right, you all enjoy it. Have a great show, okay?
Thank you so much. You have a good evening. All right, guys. Well, it's 7:24. So again, you can definitely reach out to us at subscribe to the Powerhouse Radio YouTube page. Thank you so much for subscribing and tuning in to the powerhouseradio.com to listen live. You can also listen live on your phone at 667-930-9036. You can go to YouTube. Please subscribe because it will notify you when we're live, when the Powerhouse Radio is going live. And also, you can check us out on Facebook. You can also check us out on Instagram. And also, tonight we're not taking any phone calls, so I won't give you the number tonight to call. However, we're here. So the powerhouseradio.com, we're definitely growing. 2021, we made it through 2020, and we're going to make it through 2021. And so again, subscribe to the YouTube channel. So we didn't do our gripe because we wanted to highlight our Black business. Now, any gripe before we go further, guys? Who want to go first?
I think I'm good on the gripe. Yeah, I think so. I think I'm good.
I got a little gripe.
Go ahead, Gil.
Can
Get
I
it off your
share my
chest. Get it
black?
off your chest.
So why do mothers, single mothers of Black young men, boys, baby them when they're growing up and when they become a teenager and they start to do little things out of the norm, what you taught them not to do? Why do we then say that we're doing it by ourselves? Why do we blame being by yourself? That's my gripe. But I think that should be another topic on one of our shows.
That should be definitely a good topic.
And I think we should have somebody write in and share a story about that because I feel like somebody out there has a story that they could share about raising a son as a single parent, babying them, and then when they get older, whether it's their story or they're sharing the story from the perspective of being the grandmother or the aunt or the sister watching this. So I would really be interested in somebody sharing and sending us a letter about that.
And you can do that at let'swipe@gmail.com or the Powerhouse Radio at gmail.com. All right. So it's February 24th, Black History Moment.
Yeah. All right. So February 24th, we're going to talk about in 1864, Rebecca Lee Crumpler. She became the first African American woman to receive a doctorate of medicine degree. Now, when I first looked this and I first read this, I was like 1960. My mind, for some reason, said 1964. So I was like, 1964. That's a little late. But then I looked over it again, to 1864, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty early for that time period. So shout out to Rebecca Lee Crumpler and the family, surviving family. But that's a dope accomplishment, especially for that time period, though. You know, and it's pretty interesting though. We think about all the things that are happening now for Black women, you know, and to know that at that time, you know, it was a lot of things already progressing at that point in 1864 and coming forward till now. So salute Crumpler, salute my beautiful Black women who always me growing up always if I were to cheat off somebody's paper, they would be the ones that I would cheat off. Because I always thought, you know, they were smart, dedicated, definitely had a different agenda than the knothead boys and stuff. So salute to all my beautiful Black women.
Yes, and I'll be able to say thank you to that. You know, we are some smart creatures. We are, and we appreciate when we are able to hear it from the opposite. So thank you for that, Marcus. Thank you for that.
No problem.
And you know, we know that there's many more.
Oh,
Look, we're talking about February 24th of 1864. But as of today, February 24th, 2021, we have a Black Asian vice president.
Yep.
So just to see how time has been evolving, that's an awesome thing. But guess what? Also, speaking of president and vice president and so forth, so we all know last week in Texas, they had a deep freeze, Arctic blast, as they call it, power fail, pipes was bursting, house was froze, etc., etc.
We didn't even talk about your boy though, did we?
Which one? Which one we talking about? Cruz?
No, your boy, the mayor. That was just like, hey, look.
We sure did. What's his name? Tim?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, y'all got to tough that thing on out.
Oh,
y'all on your own.
Okay, y'all on your own. It's not the government's responsibility to take care of you in the event of a natural disaster. Did he say that out loud though?
He said it in writing. That there was paper trail. So he said it in writing. But guess what? Do y'all see Texas turning blue in the next 4 years?
No.
They say don't mess with Texas, but they've been messing with Texas a bit lately. And so I think there are some people that are disappointed in the actions of their leadership and their elected officials. So it will be interesting to see how it plays out in the next 2 to 4 years and how they rectify this level of disappointment and disrespect. I mean, it's just good and disrespectful that you tell people that it's not the government's responsibility to make sure that you have heat and power and running water
Yes,
during
and
a natural disaster like a snowstorm that's unexpected. And then you have another elected official that just hops on a plane
hops on the
in his
plane to go
boat.
to Cancun, y'all.
Boom.
I'm just trying to figure how did he do that COVID test so fast? Well, do they need a COVID test to go to Cancun? Maybe
You
not.
have to have one coming back.
But you have to
You don't
come.
have-
But
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you
okay,
don't
so
have
it's
to have
not
it
like
going, but
Jamaica where you have
it
to
coming
have.
back. Yeah, in
Okay,
Jamaica
so
you have to have it going, but
okay.
in Mexico you just have to have it coming back, and most of the hotels offer it. So I'm sure he was at a hotel that offered, the test on site. If he didn't have somebody walking with him with the test. But anywho,
But wait, where we do that at?
in these United States of America is where we do this. This is exactly where we do this. We hop on a plane because we don't want to deal with what's happening in our own state. I mean, and then you have other representatives
The kind
that
of
aren't your state to help your state.
but look, and do you see? Did you hear that his wife? He said his wife is pissed because her friends leaked the text that she sent that, hey, it's freezing, y'all. Y'all want to go to Cancun? Y'all want to go to Mexico? So of course, one of her lovely friends that she sent in a group text shared her text with the Washington Post or New York Post. Don't quote me on that one. But
So
she's pissed. That's what Cruz said.
so the text just said that she just going to Cancun because it's cold,
No,
or
she
did
said
It was like a group chat. You know how we
like,
have group
hey,
chats?
right. Like,
It was
hey,
more
Marcus,
like in
it's
a group chat. So, hey, y'all, we're getting ready to go to Cancun because it's way too cold here in Texas. It's freezing and we don't want to, it was a
no
group chat.
power.
And so there were screenshots of the group text messages that got leaked to the media. And so the wife was pissed, more like embarrassed, that those group text messages got leaked to the press. And so, of course, anytime things get leaked to the press, now you have to come up with a story. And so the first story was, I was just trying to be a good dad, and I was just trying to be a good dad, and take care of these children and my wife, and so we decided to just go over here to Cancun. So that was the first story that came out. I made a bad decision. Maybe was like the second story that
Yeah,
came
like
out.
right. Like I was chaperoning, but got caught out there with the text. But look, this is what amazed me with the text, y'all, because I don't know about y'all, and I love five-star hotel. I don't do anything less. However, but in one of the line of the text said, well, and the Ritz Carlton, they got 305 a night per room. $305 per night. That was like chump change to them, y'all.
Oh yeah, I
When I
don't
saw
doubt.
that, I said,
So
I
you
don't
around
doubt
here
that.
like, come on over. It's only $305 per night.
Yeah,
Only.
I didn't doubt. I don't doubt that at all. I didn't doubt
I
that at all.
said, they said that like that was $20. And me complaining about $179 a night. I better not do that no more.
No.
Shoot.
You live within you.
Right.
I mean, it made me feel like, wait a minute. Only, when you check in hotels when you're traveling, you try not to go even over 200. I'm just the average. If you're looking for 5-star, and when you start seeing the 300, you be like, okay, let me see if this includes food,
Right.
massage, hotel drop off and pick up. You looking for all the other bonus. She was like, and they have rooms for $305 a night. I said, I think that's what she was pissed off about. Just that line.
Yeah. And what's really sad is that there were people who died in Texas. I mean, people, I read a story about an infant, an 11, I don't want to say 11-week or 11-month-old infant that died, due to not having any heat. And so that person is suing, of course, the electric company. And so there were some comments about that. And one of the comments was, well, that mother should have done everything that she could have done to make sure her baby didn't die.
I just when people say that, I want to know the solution that they gonna come up with.
I mean,
Um,
but if you read the article, the mom said she had 11 blankets over
yeah,
her children. So I
I'm,
mean, like,
I'm just trying to figure out the solution scientifically, what they said she could have done. I mean, maybe if she was, a physicist or some type of, maybe she could have figured out a way to turn the ice into heat, some kind of, I don't know, but I guess that's what they want people to end up doing. To me, this whole thing is crazy. You elect government officials and people in the know. This is supposed to be what democracy is supposed to be about. You elect people that you believe have your best interests at heart. That when things like this happen, not only could they help out physically, but provide resources and information to you and on some level, right? To be able to help these citizens out. So it just, to me, the whole, one of the things that's happened within the past, even starting all the way back to Obama, is that politicians have been status quo of doing whatever they want to, and nobody really checking them, because people as a whole weren't really that involved into politics, knowing what such and such said, and really knowing their record. But now, and it's probably the progression of like things like Twitter and the internet and stuff like that too as well. They probably go hand in hand, but people are checking for these people. So I'm sure that 20 years ago, if Ted Cruz this would have happened and he just wanted to go on, a trip to Cancun, people probably wouldn't have thought nothing about it outside of the state of Texas. People would just probably like, oh well, they would probably wouldn't even have known about it. But now that all eyes are definitely on these politicians and what they're doing, how they're spending their money, are they spending taxpayers' money? How they're acting when things come up, when natural disasters come up, what is their behavior from that point? So it's a different day and time to all politicians out there, because people are watching 24/7, watching what you do, what you say. So it's a different ball game.
and it's not just the politicians, it's also these CEOs of these mega corporations. People are holding them accountable. I was reading another story that was talking about how these people in Texas, Texas is one of the states that is not on this central power grid that other states are on. And they've known for 10, 11, 12 years that their power sources are not adequate in the event of a storm. And so there's been conversation about what needs to be done, but nothing has happened. They've continued to leave it as is. And so we know that it failed recently. And one of the things that has happened is that people, after this storm, got power bills for $7,000 and $8,000, not $100, not a $700 power bill, but a $7,000 power bill. And they're outraged because of the way that power is priced. When there was an outage of power, I guess it's not flat, and I'm not exactly sure on the specifics, but the way that they priced the power based on demand, because of course the demand increased, they were able to increase the price because that's how capitalism works. And so people ended up with $7,000 and $8,000 power bills. And so one of the companies, of course, they spotlighted this in the local news, and people were asking questions, and I'm sure they had their investigative reporter on it. So at one of the power companies in Texas, 5 of the board members have resigned as a result of the fallout that's occurred, to this electric and power crisis, and people who were stranded without power and water for several days. So there's still a lot of work to be done in all communities. And so we talk about being involved. There's something always to keep your eye on, and there's something always to be involved in. And I think that the news and social media spotlighting these things keeps America honest, and it keeps us, maybe not honest, but it keeps us accountable and creates opportunities to be human. I mean, capitalism is one thing, but being human and kind is another. Like you feel like it's okay to charge somebody $7,000 for a power bill. Like, I understand that's capitalism, and you can make a whole lot of money off of that, but is that the right thing to do, though?
Well, McKenna, what I'm trying to figure out, though, it hasn't even been a week. So how do I get a bill?
Look, the billing department is still working. I guess they have power, right? The billing department they can calculate those kilowatts or whatever those are called and send you out an email. Like that part doesn't stop.
I mean,
I can send you a bill.
I'm just saying. I was just when I did hear about that, I'm like, but don't you got to wait till the billing cycle? I well, I guess you said you did start off by saying Texas is on a whole different other level.
It sounds like they doing
Well,
way
really, but really, truly, Texas wasn't really America's anyway. Remember, we could go into history. They won Texas in the war. I mean, I'm just saying, but maybe that's why.
Yeah, they just.
But I do see, I do see Texas turning blue in the next 4 years. There's no possible way, or maybe it's just karma with the politician with everything that went on.
I mean, I think that there might be some small towns that might be blue. I'm not sure if the whole state is going to turn blue, but I think that it will force, I think that it won't be taken for granted that it couldn't turn blue because Georgia did. So I think that there will be opportunities for people to go out there and speak their agenda and actually prove to people that they are worthy as a candidate. And it's not just going to be a situation where I'm going to vote for you because we know that doesn't always work. So I think politicians are going back to class and reformatting how elections were won. And they're going to come up with another strategy because colors do change, right? Colors change.
It does, but
Blue.
we will be changing Stacey Abrams' address with the Texas zip code. Once we get her down there and with her force, we could change it blue. I have faith in that, guys.
But did you see where David said that he wasn't going to run for his seat anymore?
But did you wait before he said he wasn't going to run? Well, he lost his seat, and then last week he did the registration, paid some fees to run against one off, because John got his seat for the next 6 years. But yeah, I did see where he turned around. Was it yesterday or today, and saying that he was not?
So I wonder, is he going to run for governor? Like, I'm just wondering, is he out of politics? Like, that just made me say, like, what else is going on?
Maybe he's going to run for the mayor of Atlanta, y'all.
Okay.
Y'all ain't think about that.
I don't know if he will want that, though.
Why not?
Is that a lateral? I think that's more work. Those congressmen, they work and then they go spend some money and then they go raise some money.
Wasn't his daddy the governor?
His cousin, Sonny.
Sonny Perdue was his cousin?
His cousin, yeah, that was his cousin.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on that.
It's something up with that. Yeah, let's table that for now. We're gonna table that.
What's going on there?
It's 7:43. What we got? Do we have a McKenna letter this week?
Oh, I think we do have a letter. Let me see. We have a letter.
Oh,
I'm gonna lean forward.
All right, let's listen carefully.
My husband has cheated on me several times. We have young children, and I don't want to divorce their father and uproot their lives. So I stayed. And I met someone, and I've been having an affair now, and I'm in love with him. I still don't want to get a divorce for the children's sake. Let's gripe. What should I do? Signed, More Than Entangled.
Whew, that's a lot. I'm gonna let you ladies go first on this one. I'm gonna let you ladies go first on this one.
McKenna, you want to take it first?
I think I'll come up at the end. Go ahead.
All right. Ouch. All right. I could understand staying for the children's sake, to give them the chance to have two parents in the house. I could understand staying. Oh, I could understand the cheating part. See, I told y'all, women, we too emotional. Didn't I tell y'all that before? So now she in love. Mm, mm, mm. What? She needs some understanding? Um, wow.
Yeah, that was the
So,
part that got me.
so let me tell you the two things that's going to get hurt. The children will get hurt if it's ever known and they do have to divorce. And the person that she's having an affair with, he's the one will get hurt because he will fall in love with her as well, and he cannot have her. She's going home to her husband every night. So it's kind of good to see a woman in a winning strategy right now, though.
And a what?
Winning.
Is she?
Men always winning.
No. I don't think she's winning. I don't think nobody in that situation.
I mean, I'm telling you, she's not getting an award for it. I'm just saying she just took the low road. I'm not gonna say it's a high road because it's not, but I'm just saying.
I mean, all right, I'll go ahead and jump in there.
Tony was over there stuck. What? Okay, go ahead, Marcus, and I'll come up behind you.
Yeah. Now, one of the things, that reason why I wanted you guys to go first was because the part that stuck out to me is that she said she was in love. Now, I understand that we've all known about like revenge cheating. You know, your significant other, you know, has an affair on you, and you be like, well, you know, hey, why not? Let me go ahead and get my get back. But the falling in love part, is definitely one I was like, you ain't supposed to do that. Now you just supposed to go in there and get your little happiness or whatever you gonna got, and then come on back home, and do what you need to do. But my question would be to the individual that wrote it, because, you know, I always want details about all this stuff. Is that how long does she anticipate that this can carry on? And one of the things that may or may not happen, is that when you start falling in love, some things you don't do the same. Like you know, just a small details, but not really, you know. Maybe at first, when it first happened, she was using condoms, but now that she don't fell in love, she may not. And what tends to happen from there is, you know, we can have some babies pop up. Now, when you have babies pop up, you know, you have, you know, your wife, you feel like everything's good. You've been over here cheating. You feel like you don't got away with it, but she like, nah, bro, you ain't, because I got a whole nother baby by a whole nother man over here. And that can lead to some real serious problems. Real serious problem for the family. You never know what could happen. There's no good advice to continue on with this situation. It's chaotic. Something's gonna happen. Someone's gonna end up getting hurt, as you mentioned before, and it's gonna be the kids. That's typically who it is. Not necessarily the boyfriend and the husband as much as the kid, because they carry the weight of everything that goes on in the family. As much as we don't want to recognize and realize, they carry the weight, they bear the weight. And this I'm really into watching these paternity. This is my own thing, paternity court cases, and it's always, you know, don't judge me, but it's always these type of situations in which, you know, someone is, you know, husband or boyfriend, whoever is on cheated multiple times, and then that one or two times that they decide to get back, and then you're producing a whole nother child that may be that individual. And then you have the husband or boyfriend who's ever there, and they're, you know, not treating the child well because there's a doubt in their mind that the child is theirs. So I won't take up too much more of the time, but it's definitely not a good situation at all. Entanglements don't work out, as Jada proved. They don't work out. But I'll pass it on to you, McKenna.
I think you had some good comments there. I reread it, and the question was, what should I do? And there was a couple of things that came to my mind, but what came to my mind is, it's always right to do the right thing. And so you have to make a decision about what is the right thing to do in this situation. And if it's truly about the children, then make it about the children. If that's the right, like if your focus is on the children, then make this about the children and what do your children deserve? And then what are you teaching your children? Because children are intuitive. They pick up on things, they know things. When you fall in love, when you leave the house, like when you are stepping outside of your marriage, there's something different that happens when you leave that house and you come back. Your energy is different, your aura is different, your attitude is different. And all of those things, your energy, your attitude influence what happens in this home environment that you have with your children, how you treat their father, how you treat them, how impatient you are. Because when you're in love, you want to be with that thing, that energy, that person, that item, that whether it's a drug, alcohol, gambling, whether it's a person, you want to be with that thing that you're in love with. That's where your energy is and your affection is. So when you're in love with something that's outside of the home, you're taking you outside of the home and spending that energy outside of the home instead of with your children. So what is the right thing to do? It's always right to do the right thing. So I would say, ask yourself, what's the right thing to do here? And then the other thing I always question is when people say that I'm staying for the children, are you really staying for the children or are you staying because it's convenient? There are conveniences that you have when you're in a marriage that you don't have as a single person or a single parent. And so you don't have to worry about custody. You don't have to worry about, is it his weekend or my weekend? You don't have to worry about whose insurance the child is going to be on. You don't have to worry about visitation. You don't have to worry about putting the girlfriend's name on the emergency contact list or the boyfriend's name. There are things that you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about, I have to pay my own rent and my own utilities, and hopefully he's going to pay the support. There are things that you don't have to worry about when you're in a marriage or in a situation where you have two people in the household who are contributing. And so I wonder when people say, well, I'm staying for the children. Are you really staying for the children? Or is it just easier for you to stay to do what you're doing while the children are there? And then you have because if you were by yourself, then you would still have to figure out how to go be with this love person that you have on the other side. But if you're at home, you can leave the kids and the other person is there, and then you know the routine. So you know his schedule, you know your schedule, you know how much time you're going to need to go and come back and do what you need to do because you've calculated all that because that's consistent. And so we say these things not to judge, but just to bring attention to what's the motive and who's really benefiting from this experience. Are your kids benefiting from this experience? Is your husband benefiting from this experience? Or are you the only person that is benefiting from this experience? And then to something you said, Marcus, about, falling in love. Now that we've fallen in love, that creates a whole nother, because is the other person in love? We don't know that part. Just because I'm in love with you doesn't mean that you're in love with me.
Exactly.
And it doesn't mean that you love me the same way I love you, because women might love harder or deeper or faster or quicker. The other person might be enjoying the experience, but is that other person in love? And then does that other person want to take on all the other things that are going on in your life? That other person may or may not. That part wasn't included in the letter. And so these type of letters always yield more questions than answers, but I would just challenge the writer to really think about what is the right thing to do in this situation and whose needs are being met. Are you focused on your needs? Are you focused on because children are resilient. If you decided tomorrow that you wanted to separate your home and divorce your husband and create this whole other life, you could prepare your children for that. There are plenty of children who have had parents who divorced and they went on to live successful, productive lives and were fine. They adjusted and they were fine. And, they had some hurt and they had to deal with the disappointment and the change and the difference. But ultimately, they grew up, they acknowledged what happened, and they were able to move on. And so to hide behind the fact that I'm doing it for my young children, I take question to that. And I would just challenge you to be honest with yourself and figure out what the right thing to do is. And sometimes doing the right thing is the hardest thing to do. Sometimes it's easy to do the opposite of what the right thing is. It's convenient, it's meeting the need. But if you're focused on your kids, then focus on them and figure out what's the right thing to do for your kids.
The thing that I have with that, like I said, I've said it before. It is a true meaning when it says a woman cannot do what a man do. And not for the reason why men say that, but in general, because we're more emotional. So we would, in her case, as she said, I'm falling in love with this other person, right? So you're confused. So there is going to be a slip up. Okay, there's going to be a slip up. Okay. So again, yeah, I said it. I said you're winning, but it's not meaning that you're winning a award or a trophy. Your needs are getting met. You feel a certain way that you probably haven't felt in a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not going to end right if you continue down this road. That's
Yep.
my take on it, Marcus. I know you wanted to piggyback, so
Yeah. I mean, I just think this whole dynamic of I'm staying together, my husband, we just pretty much we cheat on each other. We're not faithful to each other. And it seemed like the scenario says that we're only faithful to our kids. But like I said, the repercussions of what they're actually doing, both of them, could be very detrimental to their kids. My guess would be the husband doesn't know. My guess that even though he's out there doing whatever he's doing, if he were to find out, he's not going to be very happy at all about it. So I mean, I don't know. I've never been in a situation where you are with someone, but you're in love with another person, and you have to be with that other person more often. I've never been in that situation before. So I do believe that is definitely a sticky situation. But as far as my advice, and I hate giving advice to women because they never follow it.
did he just say that? Yeah.
Yeah, y'all don't. That's okay. Y'all don't. Y'all gonna do whatever y'all gonna do anyway.
When you say
Regardless.
no, that means yes. When
Right.
when we ask you, we already made the decision.
That's 10 times out of 10, you already know what you want to do. So my words don't really mean anything. You're like, oh yeah, you make a good point. Yeah, you make a good point. But I love them anyway, so we gonna do.
Not for the side eyes, Marcus. Not for the side eye. Did you see that side eye, McKenna?
But my advice is as McKenna said, reevaluate if it's the kids for you. Reevaluate what the repercussions would be if your husband found out, if your kids found out, if the guy on the end said, "Hey, me seeing you 2 or 3 times a week for X amount of time is not enough. I'm coming to your house. I'm telling your husband. I'm blowing it up. I'm blowing the whole scene up, or I'm going on Facebook or social media and I'm blowing it all up." So I would advise thinking about all those things are in play, because it's in 2021, the game has changed. It is no longer I can keep someone down the street and it be okay. Those
Whoa,
those
say it
were
again.
those were the yesteryears. Today, people coming for you, and people are getting satisfaction out of being satisfied by telling what they believe is their truth about these situations. So just be careful. Think about if it's about the kids, really sit down and think about what's best for your kids. And if being married and you and your husband doing what you do on the side, I'm just gonna say my opinion is it just won't work out well in the end for either party, and definitely not for your kids. So just keep that in mind. Like I said before, you're gonna do what you want to do anyway. But I definitely thank you for writing in. And we love all these letters that you guys are writing in, because you guys are bringing in situations. But I'll pass it over to someone else. Go ahead.
We have Kimberly. She says people die sometime when there's a triangle.
Mm-hmm.
She said you better stay. She said you better stay. Hold on one second.
Mm-hmm.
Danger. She better pray her husband does not find out over time. He will. Too wrongs don't make a right. It's too late to ask for advice now. That's my 2 cents. And that's from Kimberly, our special guest host. You better say that, McKenna, convenience and all that. So, yes. So, guys.
And Ryder, we also want to acknowledge that, it's a painful situation that you're in, because you wouldn't have written in if you were completely pleased about that situation. So we get that people are hurting and they're looking for ways to cope, and they want to do what's right, and they want to make good choices, and they want to feel appreciated and loved and respected and cared for. And we know that typically women step out because those things are not feeling in their home. And we know that because you said that in the past that your husband cheated. So we know that there was some breakdowns in trust and love and respect in your relationship before you even stepped out and fell in love with this particular person. So we don't want to dismiss that part of the letter as you wrestle with, what to do, and you weigh the danger that you might be posing to yourself and the other person, the damage that has already been done in your marriage based on things that happened before you stepped out. And then are there opportunities for you and your husband to get back to a place where, you can co-parent and be civil and regain trust and respect and love in your own marriage? So there's lots of things that could happen, because we know people come back from infidelity, or people stay and they manage through infidelity, through outside children, through all kinds of things. So, you're in a position where you get to make those decisions about the story and the narrative that's going to happen in your life going forward. You don't have to be the victim, but you do have to make some conscious decisions about what it's going to look like. And we really, really wish you the best. And at that time, it's 8:00, and our hour has wrapped up so fast.
Well, daylight savings time is around the corner. How I notice that is because when I go outside at 5:25, 5:40, I still see some sun, y'all. I see it's not dark at 5:00 anymore. So, but till then, we're here at the powerhouseradio.com every Wednesday, 7 to 8 for now. Look like we're going to extend the time soon, because these letters coming in, the topics that we have, and we're going to do the Black-owned businesses highlight every month, just because it's not only Black History Month, And before we go, real quick, yesterday, February 23rd, made a year that Ahmaud Arbery was killed by 3 alleged white men. His mother, she did end up filing suit against the prosecutors and the 3 suspects. So again, let's keep his family in our prayers and hope that justice is served on, his behalf. So with that being said, this is Let's Gripe. My name is Tonya. We're tuning out.
Good night. I'm McKenna, tuning out. Look forward to y'all next week. Keep writing in.
Good night. This is Marcus signing off. Y'all have a blessed evening.
Good night.
Good night. And thank you for tuning into the powerhouseradio.com.